Hey, welcome, folks, on this Friday. That's a fact check Friday. I got a number of fact checks to get to today, so thanks for joining me. Yeah, let me make sure we're live. Looks like we're on the YouTube. Are we on the Rumble? Yes, we are streaming live on both Rumble and YouTube. So that is fantastic. Just as a reminder, on Rumble, that's right, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Monday to Friday, noon on the West Coast. I am your host, Tom Coffee, and today it is June 23rd. Today, we're going to dive into the world of unexpected discoveries, or as Bob Ross calls them, happy accidents. Yeah. Because sometimes life throws you a curveball and says, hey, guess what? You weren't expecting this. Speaking of unexpected surprises, let's address something that many Gen Zers are thinking about all the time, and that's climate anxiety. Okay? Now, climate anxiety, it's real, folks. The younger generation, bless their eco-conscious souls, often find themselves lying awake at night worrying about rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and whether they'll get to taste a snow cone in February. But we have happy accidents. Take radial keratotomy, or RK, for example. It's a procedure where doctors make radial incisions in the cornea to fix nearsightedness. Who would have thought that randomly slicing up eyeballs would lead to improved vision? I mean, it's like they're saying, hey, let's take a pizza cutter to your eyes and hope for the best. But hey, it works. And that, my friends, is what I call a sight for sore eyes. And a happy accident worthy of Bob Ross's praise. But hey, it worked. So if we can stumble upon solutions for nearsightedness, surely we can stumble upon solutions for climate change, right? And let's not forget about the iconic Post-it notes. They were born out of an accidental adhesive failure. You see, some chemist named Spencer Silver was trying to create a super strong glue, but oops, he ended up with something weaker than a politician's promise. But instead of crying over his sticky failure, he said, hey, I can use this to stick passive-aggressive notes on my roommate's unwashed dishes. And thus, the Post-it note was born, becoming the unsung hero of office organization and passive-aggressive reminder notes. And who can forget the microwave oven? Percy Spencer, an engineer working with magnetrons during World War II, stood too close to the magnetron and noticed a candy bar had melted in his pocket. Now, most people would be like, oh no, my chocolate, but not Percy. He thought, hey, this accidental melting might be onto something. And there you have it, the microwave oven, revolutionizing the way we cook and make nuking our food a socially acceptable way to satisfy our late-night snack cravings. So, my fellow humans, if we can turn sliced corneas, sticky notes, and melted candy bars into game-changing discoveries, surely we can find innovative solutions to combat climate change. We got the brain power, the creativity, the collective determination to tackle this challenge head on. So let's raise our glasses, and maybe our magnifying glasses, to the accidental geniuses who remind us that sometimes the best solutions are found when we least expect them. And who knows, maybe one day we'll stumble upon the solution to climate change, or to cure traffic jams, or a way to make kale taste like bacon. A guy can dream, right? My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, best censored commentary and news show live. Right now, flame on. So, yeah, we're talking about optimism. And, there's climate anxiety. I've seen things that young people are really freaked out. They don't want to plan a future. They don't want to have kids. Nothing. Because they're so afraid of this climate emergency that we're in. And I say, hang on, we are able to solve problems. We've always been able to solve the problems that come up, right? As a society, we've solved everything that's come up. Eventually, we get it. And I believe that we will in this case as well. Have a little sip of coffee here. You know, in the monologue I was talking about radial keratotomy. Now, the story was, this was actually a Russian guy, so I don't know, are we still allowed to praise any Russians? I'm not sure. The story was he heard about a guy that was in a bar fight, and his cornea was nicked with like a broken glass, and his vision got better. And he said, oh, I got to experiment with this. And so he tried it out on some rabbits. At least that's the story they tell us. Whether or not that's true, we don't know. But he was able to solve, having nearsighted, or, being able to see with glasses. Now, the thing is, I know about this personally. I had RK done probably in 91, I think. I actually won it as a door prize, if you can believe that. I went to a convention center. They were having a presentation on this. And I walked in and I said, I'm going to win this. I am going to win this because I need it. And I took my friend and I took two friends. And they gave me their tickets as well. And I told the girl at the door, I said, I'm going to win this because I need this. And I did. And I had the surgery, which was basically a guy had a scalpel. He just laid me down, put the arm, on my forehead, and he just started slicing up my cornea. All of a sudden, I can see better. And I was essentially blind. I was about 20/800 when that happened. What that means is at 20 feet, I could see what I should be able to see at 800 feet, right? The big E that you see in the eye charts, that's 2,400. So I couldn't see the big E. That's how blind I was. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to get this, and now I don't need to wear glasses. Haven't worn glasses ever since. This was all a discovery from a happy accident. And that's why I want you to be optimistic about the future, and we need to be optimistic about this climate emergency, if you will. Now, I am a little skeptical about it. I have asked, I get on Twitter, and when people talk about this, I ask for the best information so I can better understand climate change. And every link I always get is kind of BS. That doesn't mean that I don't believe it. That doesn't mean that I do believe it. I would like more information on this. I ask for the best information I can find. I still haven't seen studies that are convincing to me. So I'm on pause about the whole climate change. But I am optimistic that we can solve these things. And we can solve these issues if we're into science, right? If we're into learning things. So if you're a Gen Zer or younger, whatever they call the generation after that, Generation Alpha or something. If you want to solve the world's problem, you gotta get into science. Yeah. You're not gonna solve the world's problems studying, gender or different studies where they make you feel bad about yourself. That's not going to do it. You gotta be in science. People that study science are the ones that are going to solve this issue. But I am very optimistic. I think that we're going to solve this for sure. Just even in the last number of years, the coral reefs are coming back. I did a story just the other day about the blue whales coming back to California. There's parts of the rainforest that are coming back as well. The ozone layer was the biggest issue when I was a teenager, and now that fear seems to be gone. That the ozone layer seems to have recovered based on science, based on changes that we've made to correct that. And so that's what I'm hypothesizing today. I think that we, as humans, we're going to be able to find that. We're going to be able to find the solutions to this. Now, I do have a number of stories today. It is a Friday. It is a Fact Check Friday. The fact check, the big fact check that we're going to do involves Greta, Saint Greta, and a deleted tweet that she had. And I want to go through some different ways that the fact checkers have been covering this story. But first up, I got just a couple of stories to get to first. So as it's a Fact Check Friday, let's talk about CNN and their fact checking. All right. Ding, ding, ding. CNN's fact checker Daniel Dale took a fact-checking sabbatical once Biden entered the White House. It seems he's mastered the art of selective fact-checking, a new sport where only Republicans get to play. Here's the story. CNN's senior fact-checker Daniel Dale became famous for his fact-checking of former President Donald Trump statements. However, since President Joe Biden took office, Dale appears to have lost interest in fact-checking Biden. While Dale previously emphasized the need to rigorously fact-check the president, he's not fact-checked Biden since March. In the meantime, Dale's exclusively focused on fact-checking Republicans, including Trump. Various news outlets have criticized Biden's misleading claims, but Dale has not addressed them. Dale's not provided an explanation for his absence in fact-checking Biden. The shift in focus is not limited to Dale, but has been observed among other journalists as well. So this was a story that came up, I think, in the Washington Free Beacon. A link in the description. And they came out with this this week, and I was like, this is my invitation to the Washington Free Beacon. I talked about this last week, so if you subscribe to this channel, you'd be clued into that, and you can subscribe to this channel, watch me, and I will be giving you the information that you can then write stories about. Just my little invitation. But it is nice that I get backed up. You know, I make these observations about things, and sometimes I make these observations and no one in the media has even talked about it. But eventually they come around and do a story on it. So that's reassuring to me. But yeah, last week I went through CNN's fact-checking page and showed you all of the fact checks. All the current fact checks right now, they're all about Trump. Wow. Someone's obsessed. Anyway, it doesn't surprise anyone, though, does it? Does it surprise a single person? Not me. Not me. But right now, I got a little update for you about those kids found in the jungle. Now, 4 kids survive a plane crash in the Amazon, play hide and seek with rescue teams for 40 days. Talk about taking that game to the next level. Now, according to TMZ, 4 young children survived 40 days after a plane crash in the Amazon jungle in Colombia. During this time, they hid from rescue teams because they feared they could be insurgents who would harm them. Documentary titled TMZ Investigates the Miracle Children of the Amazon reveals the military GPS data suggests that the rescuers came close to finding the children before they were eventually discovered. Sadly, the children's mother, the pilot, and another man died in the crash. The 3 older children survived because they were in the rear of the plane, which remained relatively intact, while the baby was protected by her mother during the crash. So this is a little update, and I've told you that I thought that there was something more to this story. I've talked about this story twice, but I told you there was something more to this story, and I was right. The kids were scared, and they were hiding. They were hiding from the rescuers. Well, that explains why at first we thought they were we thought they survived. And the reason that they thought they were survived was because they found the wreckage, but the kids weren't there. And then the Colombian president came out and said, no, we think they survived, but we don't know where they are. And eventually they found them. So this is just a little update to this story. I think that this is a really kind of inspirational story. Do you think they could do a Disney movie on this? Because I think they could. I don't know. I think you could come up with some good material there and turn it into a feel-good movie. Perhaps. Maybe not. But, that's one of the things is that the truth can often be stranger than fiction. So now it's Friday. Fact Check Friday. Let's finally get to this Greta tweet. So here's what I want to address. This is the tweet, and a lot of people have been talking about this. It says, 5 years ago, Greta tweeted, "A top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years." So that was the tweet. She did delete it, but the coverage of this story is what I'm going to get into, and I've chosen 3 different sources that we're going to look at how they covered this story. So first up, let's look at how the AP did this. And so this was from March of this year. Posts distort 2018 Greta Thunberg tweet on climate danger. So what they say, claim Greta Thunberg recently deleted a tweet she posted in 2018 in which she said the world would end in 2023. The AP's assessment is missing context. While Thunberg did delete the tweet, the urgency of addressing climate change, she did not say the world would end. Her tweet included a quote from an article that was an influential scientist that warned climate change will wipe out all humanity unless fossil fuel was ended over the next 5 years. Further complicating the issue, the article incorrectly summarized the scientist's speech. He never made such comments. Well, this was the article that was tweeted here. And this is one of the issues, is a lot of times the author of an article does not get to do the headline, right? These media organizations have people that write the headlines. They read the article and they come up with the catchiest, clickbaitiest headline that they can because they want to get those clicks. That's how they make their money. So the headline here is top climate scientist, humans will go extinct if we don't fix climate change by 2023. Well, that was the actual story that she tweeted. And the first line of the story is a top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Okay, well, that's what Greta tweeted. Now, whether or not the scientist actually said that, that's really a red herring. That's beside the point. Okay? She tweeted this. And then she deleted the tweet when it looked like, oh, this didn't come true, right? So the speech was from the University of Chicago. James Anderson, who's from Harvard University, and he gave a speech at University of Chicago. He warned that climate change is drastically pushing Earth back to the Eocene epoch of 33 million BCE, when there was no ice on either pole. Anderson says current pollution levels have already catastrophically depleted atmospheric ozone levels, which absorb 98% of ultraviolet rays, to levels not seen in 12 million years. So the issue that we have here that the fact checkers play around with, the real issue is they're not clear about what they're fact checking, okay? Greta made a tweet Did she delete the tweet? Yes. Did the tweet say that if we don't do something in 5 years, humanity's going to be wiped out? That's what the damn tweet said, right? But what they do is they say, well, you know what? She did do the tweet, but you know what? That article wasn't exactly correct. Yeah, who cares, right? We're checking. Did she tweet this? Is this what it said in the tweet? She deleted it. Is that true or not? Yes, it's totally true. It's 100% true. The AP should say, yes, she did make that tweet. That was her claim, and she deleted it. Now, to go on further, that article may not have been accurate. That would be a fair assessment, but it looks like the AP is just running cover for Greta here by saying, you're missing some context. You're missing a little context here. Well, let's see, how did Netflix discuss this? This is from March 13th. Climate activist Greta Thunberg recently courted the criticism of influential conservative politicians and public figures. Now the 20-year-old has been called out by right-leaning commentators for allegedly deleting a tweet predicting that 5 years ago humanity would be wiped out because of its use of fossil fuels. Well, I don't think I'm a right-leaning commentator, but whatever. And it's not, she didn't allegedly delete the tweet. She literally deleted the tweet. Okay? And the claim was that humanity would be wiped out because of fossil fuels. Okay. So the facts are, and they go through the facts here, and what they do is, it's all very shady. The facts should be, Greta made a tweet. The tweet was kind of misleading, and the tweet was wrong, and she deleted it. All true. Not what Newsweek does here. They say an article by right-leaning news site Post Millennial, which ran a headline, Greta Thunberg deletes 2018 tweet, saying the world would end in 2023 after world does not end. Okay. So the article quotes Harvard professor James Anderson, does not say that humanity will be wiped out in 5 years, however. Okay. The article, James Anderson, might not say that, but here's the tweet. A top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity, doesn't say exactly when, unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Well, the 5 years is gone, so I guess we're done. Might as well fire up the barbecue. Might as well take that jet plane, because there's nothing we can do. It's already been 5 years. It was 5 years 2 days ago. So I guess we're screwed, according to this tweet. You see how they're running interference? Newsweek is running interference. Now, what I also found very interesting about when I tried to look into this, I tried to see, can I find the actual speech that this professor gave? It is not available online that I could find. There is not a YouTube video. There is not a summary of the speech that he gave. So I don't know how these fact checkers are saying whether he did say it or didn't say it. Not a single fact checker interviewed James Anderson to find out if he said it. Not a single fact checker said that they viewed the lecture. Not a single fact checker said that they talked to anyone that was at the lecture. But somehow they've decided they know what happened at the lecture. There's no summary of the lecture. There's no video of the lecture. They never talked to anyone that was at the lecture. They didn't talk to the professor. But somehow they know. They know that it's not true. I don't know how they do. All I can say is I don't know what happened at that lecture. I don't know what he said. And this guy wouldn't reply to my tweet, so, you know, all I can say is I don't know. But all these fact checkers, they seem to know. How did Snopes cover this? Did Greta Thunberg delete tweet claiming climate change will wipe out humanity by 2023? Well, again, the tweet doesn't say that humanity would be wiped out by 2023. What it says is that humanity will be wiped out unless we stop using fossil fuels by 2023. You see the little wordplay, the little gamesmanship that Snopes did right off the bat? So, the claim, climate change activist Greta Thunberg deleted a 2018 tweet claiming climate change will wipe out all of humanity by 2023, and they say mixture. Literally, that's what the tweet says. But it's a mixture. What's true? Thunberg did delete a tweet from her account that read that. However, the tweet and the underlying article never actually asserted that humanity would end in the year 2023. Word games. Why are the fact checkers playing word games to cover for this? This should be the easiest fact check either. The easiest fact check that there is, okay? All you have to do with a fact check is, what's the claim? What are the facts? What's the conclusion? The claim is, she tweeted this and deleted it. What are the facts? She tweeted it and deleted it. What's the conclusion? That's true. Afterwards, you can say, but by the way, I don't think Greta actually even read the article. The article technically doesn't say that. Greta's a big dummy for tweeting articles that she doesn't read. But they didn't say that either, did they? And that gets to the next point that I want to make, and that's about sharing articles that you don't even bother to read. Now, sharing articles without reading them on social media is like pretending to be a doctor after watching a season of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. Sharing content on social media can create a sense of subjective knowledge, even if the person hadn't read or objectively knows the information. Research shows that a majority of people share articles without reading them. And those who share without reading still feel knowledgeable about the topic. However, this subjective knowledge doesn't translate into actual understanding. It's important to read before sharing to avoid spreading inaccurate information and to truly enhance our knowledge. So that's the key. It's important to read the story before you share it to avoid spreading inaccurate information. That is exactly what Greta did here. She shared an article that she didn't read. And if she did read it, then she doesn't have any reading comprehension. She shared an article with a misleading headline, and she didn't read the article. That's what she did. But you know what? I don't hold this against Greta for doing this. Everybody seems to do this. We all do this. And it makes us feel good. That's why we share these articles. And it's like we see the headline, we don't need to read the whole article, right? Because if we read the article, we might find out that the headline is BS. So I'm not going to hold Greta to a higher standard than, say, our politicians, our celebrities, people that we follow. They all do it. They all do it. So, whatever. She shared an article. She didn't read it. Okay. Big deal. The fact checkers, why are the fact checkers running cover for her? Do the fact checkers read the articles either? I don't know. I can't get into read anyone's mind, but that's what happened here. And it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. And it's okay to own up to mistakes when you make it. The fact checkers should own up to the mistakes that they're making right now with this, with the coverage of this story. But they're not. Greta should own up to it. She should post and say, hey, I tweeted this 5 years ago. Huh? Probably should have read the article. She didn't do that either. But you know what? The people that you like, your heroes or the people you follow online, they do the same thing. They absolutely do the same thing. I think I do that too sometimes. Occasionally I'll retweet something that goes along with my worldview, and I might not read the whole article. I shouldn't do it, but I do. I'll own up to that. Sometimes I will retweet things I don't read. I'll try to do better. And that's the point of the story today. I hope we can all try to do better for that. And lastly, we got to do some good news because it's a Friday. We got to go out on some good news. So let's get to some damn good news. You know, they say one person's trash is another person's treasure. Well, this lady found plates that vaguely look like human faces at a thrift store. Turns out they were labeled Picasso, and she sold them for over $10,000 each. Now, Picasso must be rolling around over in his grave thinking, I could have charged way more for those. So a thrift store enthusiast found plates that resembled human faces, decided to buy them for $1.99 each. The plates had a sticker with the name Picasso. After doing some research, she discovered that Pablo Picasso had made ceramics, including plates. Realizing their potential value, she contacted auction houses and learned the plates could be worth around $4,000 each. In a bidding war, the plates sold for over $10,000 each. The thrift store enthusiast was ecstatic and used her newfound windfall to invest. She continues to enjoy thrift shopping, although it's become more challenging due to increased demand for secondhand items. So that's some good news. Have you ever found something really good at a thrift store? Now, I can't remember everything I talk about on this show. I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could. But I don't. But let's see. Does this look familiar? Did I talk about this on the show before? This vase that I bought at a thrift store? I can't remember if I did. I can't remember if I did. But yeah, I found this vase this year at a thrift store. And what I did, I just thought it was pretty. And I said, oh, that's going to be a nice vase. I just put some dollar store fake flowers in here. But what I did was I used my Google Lens. I think I've talked about this, but I can't remember. And with the Google Lens, I could just search. I just took a live picture of this and I searched for this. And then, let's see, I saw it was signed on the bottom, Stoddard, and I put that in the Google Lens, and I was able to search for it and check out what I found. Here we go. Fred Stoddard is the artist. Let's see, can I? Let's see if I can. There we go. I'll move it around here. Large flower vase. Now this is a similar one to what I have. Okay, similar, but he's selling it for $8.50. Now this one's a little bit smaller than the one I got, but I thought it was pretty. I picked it up for I think $30. Now, is it worth $850? I don't know. I just thought it was a pretty vase, and that's my thrift store find. It's not $10,000 each, but it's still pretty good news. Anyway, if you've never used the Google Lens, I think it's pretty cool. It's actually right here at the top let's see if I can. So if I can show you here, this is the picture I just took with the Google Lens, and then it found these right away. Once I put in the artist's name, found them right away just from clicking it with that. So that's kind of cool. You might be on the lookout for that if you're at some yard sales this weekend or thrift stores. You might be able to find something great. Maybe even like this lady did with these Picassos. That's pretty damn good news. Anyway, stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments on the YouTube and on the Rumble. I'll be back on Monday. And for whatever reason, the Internet Archive, because I archive every single article that I do. Not many people do that. I know Styx Hexenhammer archives what he talks about. I archive mine as well. It seems to not be working today. I have not been able to archive the stories, and so the archive will be up later as soon as the website is working again. But yeah, that's it. I hope you all have an awesome weekend. I'll see you in the after show. Have a good one. Peace. So here we are. First up, thank you, Duggo, for the $5 tip. You can tip over on Rumble. Right now, we can't do it on YouTube, but perhaps we can do it on YouTube if I get maybe about 200 more hours of watch time. Perhaps I might be able to get back and get monetized again. So if you'd all just go watch a couple, days worth of my videos, you know, maybe I can collect tips on YouTube again. Perhaps. We'll see. Anyway, thanks, Duggo, for that. Here's to another Fact Check Friday. Keep up the good work, Tom. I appreciate you. And look, the little tiny, you can't see it right here. Well, let's see if I can. Right, the little light blue thing, that's the all right jar, because I did say all right. Still working on that. OX_00. I agree that the information about the climate change is communicated in a very fuzzy way. I get premises and I see observable differences in environment, but there's so much expected variance. Usually the fact checkers change the claim to match the debunked counterpoint. In the AP, it's flat out wrong against their own written claim. That is very true. One thing, I tell you what, I'm just going to share, just a little share for those people that stuck around for the whole show. I do appreciate you, and if you have made it this far, do me a favor, hit the like button. Thank you for that. Before the show, I wanted to pull up a picture because I actually lived in the Arctic. Okay, I was up there for an entire summer, so I got to see the sun never set. You know, I would say the sun went around like this, but obviously the sun doesn't go around; the Earth goes around. But I was up north of the Arctic Ocean, and when I arrived there, the Arctic Ocean was solid. Okay. I was looking for pictures because I really wanted to share some pictures that I had from that based on what we're talking about today. And I actually couldn't find them. I know what book I put it in, and I'm still trying to find where it is. But I was going through some pictures before the show, and it was really, really getting to me because, you know, I'm seeing all these people I used to know and people that have passed away and different things. It was really kind of hitting me hard before the show. I was really getting down about that. But when I was in the Arctic, every year what would happen was across the top of the Arctic Ocean, it was frozen. And then as the summer would progress, it would melt. There would be big chunks of ice. Those would all go away. I'd go fishing for Arctic char, every day or every night, whatever. It was a fish. I'd go down and go fishing. And then at the end of summer, it started to freeze back up again. And one of the things is I don't think that people understand that a lot of this is cyclical. Okay? And when you see things melting and you think, oh, look, but I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it melt. Well, guess what? Then it freezes up again when winter comes around. Okay? Now, I'm not making any claims about the overall trend over a number of years. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just because you see something melt and you think, well, I saw it melt, that doesn't mean anything. I saw the entire Arctic Ocean melt, and then I saw it freeze up again. Yeah. So just because you see a video of something melting, you're only seeing half of the story. Now, it could be true. There could be, I'm not making any claims about climate change whatsoever. I'm just saying a lot of people, when they talk about it and then they say, I saw the video of the thing melting, oh, yeah. It melts every summer, so, and I saw that firsthand. And I got to fly up essentially to the North Pole, and I got to see all of it melt away in the middle of summer. And guess what? At the end of summer, it all freezes back up. So yeah, I'll still look for those pictures. I do want to share them with you. But let's check out all of the fun, awesome comments that we have on YouTube. Apothecary John checking in says, don't forget to like the stream. Thanks for liking the stream. I appreciate you. Hashtag Fact Check Friday. Friday, more like Fry-yay. Am I right? What? I had RK in my left eye, says Natasha. Never got it fine-tuned. Never got right eye done. Jody's listening while she's working. That's good. Gullible Skeptic says, I'm considering doing RLE. That's refractive lens exchange to see better. By the way, RK is not really done anymore. RK was done for a little while, and then it turned out that LASIK, right, cutting the cornea with lasers, ended up being a little bit better than using a scalpel. And I think it was cheaper, and there was less recovery time and whatnot. And so now no one really does that anymore. Now it's all done LASIK. So I'm sure you've heard of LASIK. But that was an improvement upon RK. So there you go. Not Disney. They are no longer worthy, along with Bud Light, Kohl's, North Face, Target, etc. I understand a lot of people coming down on Disney, but here's what I will say to that. We can all be redeemed, okay? So, it's possible that the pendulum swings back. And I think, but if anyone has any own personal boycott, stick with it. Whatever you want to do, you can do. I support you in that. That doesn't mean that we will become extinct by 2023. Just the changes need to be made by 2023. Date of extinction was not explicitly stated. And that's exactly the truth. But, the real problem is when you tweet something really short and then people reply to it really short, you lose a lot of context. This entire thing could have been avoided if Greta actually read the article that she tweeted. Sometimes people respond in an exaggerated fashion because it's funnier, right? But does that do anything for a better understanding of things? It probably doesn't, right? We still have plenty of time to go extinct. That part was open-ended, but Revelation does speak of things getting really bad. Okay. You have done a thrift store story before, but I don't recall seeing the vase. It was about a bust of an old Roman emperor, I think. Aha, yes. Okay. So I couldn't remember if I showed you this vase before. This is the vase that I keep on my dining room table. I didn't know if I shared that before. I like your vase better than the Picasso plates. Well, see, that's the thing is you got these Picasso plates. What are you going to do with them? You're not going to, what are you going to, you're going to serve happy hour for your friends on a Picasso plate? You're not going to do that, right? I mean, I guess you'd put it on the wall. That's the nice thing about this vase, right? This vase is great. I just set it on my table and I get to enjoy it every day when I'm eating, right? So there we go. You have your marching orders. Watch his videos this weekend. Thank you, Apothecary Judd. Yeah, I got playlists. If you want to hit one of my playlists, like the podcast playlist or Fact Check Friday playlist, and it'll play 24 hours worth of my videos. You're invited to just sit there and watch them attentively, and certainly don't start any of my playlists and then like leave for the day, because that might be manipulation or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate you. As I was getting ready for the show today, I was going through these photos, trying to find the pictures of when I lived in the Arctic, and I was just getting really, really down. And it's okay to feel down sometimes, but I was really getting emotional right before the show. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do the show today. I don't even want to do it. I'm just really bummed out. And I'm glad that I did. I mean, I did because I did the show because I said I'd do the show. But I'm glad that you're all here with me, watching the show, supporting me in doing this, and liking and sharing and subscribing and all that good stuff. So you all mean a lot more to me than I think you realize. So I appreciate you. Hope you have a beautiful weekend. I'll be back on Monday with some great stuff. Cheers.